They say our shot they dance. No, no get tripod. No.
Very close to the flyover, just immediately after the flyover, and we are right here at the scene of the accident that happened yesterday.
Let's go. Okay. Let's go. Remember the
Good morning, Charles. If you can hear me, we are standing right at the very spot where the accident took place.
Let's go.
Yes, and as you can what next? What will happen to this one that they damage?
Anything else?
Okay, is there any plans to do just like this?
Yeah, well, it was another Saturday after the crash of the 5th of January. Well, all these carelessness of our drivers. The crash that occurred yesterday actually occurred about 10:05 hours in the morning, and a colleague of mine, that is Academy at Kubi, called my attention that the crash was occurred at Aguabo. And of course, they activated the FRSC 032 rescue ambulance team. Of course, this part they got there. It was a trailer that rolled over, trailer that took go from Jigawa, yeah, Enugu bound. Actually, a destination town, which is Enugu. From eyewitness accounts, we were speeding, and of course, lost control. Maybe I say brake failure, and the resultant effect was rolled over. Incidentally, there was a lady standing by the side. The lady was crushed to death instantly. That's one death. 5 of the occupants, also died. Reason being that the trailer was conveying vegetables, fruits, and as well as passengers on top of the goods. So the 5 male adults that died, but the female adults, unfortunately. See, we had 9 casualties out of the 9. 3 were injured and taken to the Enugu State University Teaching Hospital Partly, while 6 died, and then of course there were 4 Muslims whom of course the Muslim faithful came and took their opposite way, while the lady that died, their family members also came and took their opposite way. It was another unfortunate day, yeah. But as it occurred this way, it keeps, reminding us the need for vehicle maintenance, and of course, driver with caution, because if a driver, left Jigawa, it means for him to be in a little that early morning, he must have been, running all through the night. So having mentioned the speeding, which, the eyewitness account revealed to us, and possible brake failure. I'm saying possible, but we've not concluded our crash investigation. So until we conclude that, we can then reliably confirm that it was actually speed and brake failure. And as well, fatigue should be part of it. The thing that the driver left Jigawa, being in the Enugu that early morning, means once I've been on the road all through the night.
Okay, sir. You talked about possibly
Fatigue, brake system failure.
traffic and all that. And I want to know, we already know that the 5 other brothers were on top of the vehicle.
Yeah.
That means the driver happens to be one of the few injured. And
The driver died.
the driver died.
Yeah, 4 of the passengers on top of the goods, including the driver, making it 5. And the lady that was standing by both sides, not part of the passengers of the goods. Yeah. So we had 6 deaths, 5 male adults, 1 female adult, and of course 3 injured.
Okay.
And once injured, fertilizer, that was by his, how do I call it now, by his show. Only roadside organizers.
Okay, so what is the establishment you're trying to do? That you already said that you are still doing all the investigation.
Yeah. By today, tomorrow, crash investigation is not a dead thing. The nitty-gritties of crash investigation, which the command's investigation officer is already on top of it. And of course, headquarters are waiting for that report.
Okay, because we went there this morning and they were already transferred to the other vehicle.
Yeah, he commenced yesterday. He has taken the measurements, taken the chassis number of the vehicle, which will enable us to know who was the vehicle.
Okay, so is there any plan to compensate the families that were actually involved? Most especially the woman that you said was involved.
Well, that is not FRSC responsibility. Insurance should be able to take care of that. Yeah. But however, I think it will be noteworthy to mention that Tuesday this week, the Enugu State Task Force, on safety and security of lives and properties along the Enugu Expressway, in particular, Enugu and its two deep junction. That task force, was inaugurated on Tuesday this week. So I think very soon task force will commence work.
Okay, so what is actually the duties of this task force?
Well, the duties of the task force is to ensure lane discipline. Because if you are concerned with what is happening from the Cochin Junction, that's from 9th Mile Cochin Junction, into it, you realize that motorists prefer to utilize the new lane upward Enugu. So they do what we call route violation, that's facing traffic, rather than going to the inward lane to Enugu. Of course, partially bad, but then there's no law that says you should not utilize the bad lane. However, the bad lane will even make you drive slowly. If that trailer had utilized that, inward lane into Enugu, and that will leave that crash would have occurred. So the task force will ensure road discipline. Yeah, we are going to be doing more of motorized patrolling. However, we also have checkpoint at two locations. From that, the Cochin Junction, we have a checkpoint there. And of course, coming into Enugu, we also have a checkpoint there to checkmate those that may want to show intermittent. However, we are going to make sure we block all the illegal U-turn points.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, because I can remember the last time we also mentioned this as one of the challenges. I wanted to know, since then and now, what has changed?
Well, like I said, the task force was just inaugurated on Tuesday. Yeah. But I think it's also good to note that work will commence soon. Maybe by next week. Work will commence. But I'm not speaking for TN or ROCC, but I'm aware that approval has been given for them to commence work and complete, full construction of the Enugu on the Expressway. Yeah. So if that is done, I think the task force will have less work to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
We also talked about provision of barricades. Were they done?
The barricades, in fact, let me say by next week, those barricades will be in place. But if we don't barricade all the illegal U-turn points, the task force will have enormous work to do. So while we are looking at the Cochin is a legal U-turn point for those turning back, either to go to my corner, going to Soka and all that. You make a U-turn there. That one is okay. But the U-turn at where you have all these borehole, operators, that one for sure will be barricaded. An illegal U-turn point. So we're going to have those two from a Cochin Junction 1 and then the last point coming to Enugu. So those two will be open.
I want this to be next. You just said that probably mentioned causes that must have led to the accident. I want to know, it has nothing to do with the road construction, probably the way the road is constructed. Has nothing to do with it.
No. Like I said, this particular crash occurred in a location called Aguabo, which is just a stone throw into Enugu. Yeah, but it's the last flyover before it comes into Enugu. So it didn't actually occur at Enugu. It occurred where you have the level ground. The road has nothing to do with this particular crash. Like I said earlier on, driver's carelessness. And if you watch me, I'm not calling it accident. Road traffic crash. Yeah, where it was caused. So globally, we've shifted from using the language accident. Accident. They also say this one was, man-made. If that driver was not overspeeding, for Christ's sake, that crash would have been averted, or the severity of the crash would be much. Yeah, if he was going slowly and brake failed, I mean, he should have been able to control the vehicle.
Because it's really quite alarming seeing the number of wastes. I know when we're talking about food insecurity in Nigeria, we're seeing food and
lives, yeah, it pains us, for us. One life lost, it gives us our scorecard, we minus. No, we don't want to be recording that minus, to be recording plus. But we are talking about crash reduction on Nigerian roads. That's one of our priorities, to ensure that crashes are reduced to the barest minimum. Because when that is achieved, of course, we are proud of ourselves.
Alright, thank you. Thank you very much. Do you have a question? Okay, please.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. We're impressed with the answers you've given concerning the cause of the road traffic accident and the shift from calling it an accident now to road traffic crash. We like that, and we hope that the public takes note of that. But I think there's this device called the speed limiting device.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if there's any plans of enforcing the use of speed limiting device in Enugu State. Yes.
We are doing that. If I open my offenses records, of course, I will give you statistics of vehicles we have issued tickets or contravened, for not installing speed limiting. It's an offense for commercial drivers, however. For now, we are not enforcing that on private vehicles. Okay. So commercial vehicles, it is a must install a speed limiting device. And once you apprehend you, acquire the requirement of your vehicle, pending when you install that speed limiting device. You go out there, I'll show you vehicles requirement for not installing speed limiting device, and they must install them in our office. Yeah. Well, we also note that speeding is also one of the crash-induced offenses. Yeah. So we call it one of critical offenses. Yeah, all the offenses that are crash-induced, categorize them as critical offenses. So we go out for that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
I've learned so much from you.
Okay.
Everything you have said is very relevant for masses to know these things.
Yeah.
How well do they know about all of this information you have shared? Because when the people are not informed,
Yeah.
they are deformed, and we keep making these mistakes every day.
Okay. For the FRSC in Nigeria, every morning we do what we call early morning cry. What is early morning cry? Patrol team that leaves base goes to motor parks, carry out public enlightenment. Those early vehicles that will leave the park, we make sure that our operatives move to various parks, talk to drivers and passengers alike. Okay, or the inherent dangers on the road. Tell them not to overspeed. In fact, tell the passengers to speak up. Oftentimes you realize that passengers are scared to talk to drivers, even when they're overspeeding, even when they don't turn on their seatbelt, even when they carry overloading. Okay, that excess load, be it passengers or goods. Passengers don't see that look, we have right to talk to the driver, to stop all those infractions. So we also let passengers know that they should speak up. Let the driver know that look, you're committing road traffic infraction. Okay, yeah. So we go to the various motor parks, fleet operators, terminals. We go there. Go to churches, go to marketplaces, go to schools. So our enlightenment campaign is not limited to the motor park. We take it to wherever we have, you know, let me call it, people gather, we go there. We go to the mosque. Even the organizers, we talk to them, look, the time pressure you're putting on the do you really know the time pressure you're supposed to put front and back? How do you gauge the tire to know that look, you've gotten the pressure that the tire requires? So yeah, we carry out enlightenment campaign programs on a daily basis. Like I said, to the church, to the mosque. So even on Fridays, we go to the mosque, where you have mosque, we go there. Sundays, of course, we don't joke with it. And in everything we do, we must do our reports and show evidence. That, ISO FRSC is certified, ISO certified. So whatever I say, you do it and you show what evidence. So everything we're doing is evidence-based. Okay.
So I will call for a partnership with the media. The media will help in spreading the information.
That's why you guys are here.
Yes, sir.
No, FRSC and media were bread and butter.
Yeah. But also, you're talking for your own sector. It should be an intra-state relation thing.
Say it again.
It should be an intra-state relation thing.
Yeah.
Because just like what happened, is the vehicle coming from Jigawa?
Okay, like I said, we go to the various motor parks, be it private and government-owned parks, we go there. Now, our concern is not just the takeoff point, the station point is also our concern. So, what I'm doing here, Jigawa people are doing, but we know that is where they load from. In fact, we've been carrying out enforcement on this, conveyance of passengers and goods, same vehicle. So there's a task force that we commenced last year. Okay, the target was from takeoff point. So we can nip it on the board from takeoff point. What happened there, not that happened. However, we should not fail to note that these drivers oftentimes pick passengers on their way. Yeah. So you see why we must discourage it from takeoff point to destination point. So that they too, at their various garages, should also have their own task force to enforce all these laws. Not to allow passengers and goods to convey the same day. Yeah. But from what we even had from the eyewitness account, the bag fell from that vehicle. The lady that was standing by the side, so the bag actually got that lady. Okay. Well, very unfortunate. And of course, I want to sympathize with families of those that lost their loved ones in that very crash.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, we will be inviting you